All right. Yay, we're live. Welcome to Beyond Cancer with Marina Blackford. If you're new here, triple welcome. Welcome to the new year, the first live of 2025. I'm so happy you're here. I am Marina Blackford, and my YouTube channel is here to pay forward all the tips to you on your cancer journey and after. There's life during and after cancer, and that's what I believe. That's what I live because I am a two-time breast cancer survivor. And if you're here, welcome. I look forward to seeing the first comment on, let me go to comments on StreamYard, looks a little different. First comment on, feel free. Yay, it's Jack Keen. And she says, Happy New Year. Feel free to comment, ask your questions, and support others during this live chat, the first for the year. I can't believe it's the first one for the year because it's already the 10th. So excited. This week was all about getting back in routine for me. I have young kids, they're 6 and 4. They're in a lot of my early vlogs on the channel because they were 2 and a baby when I was diagnosed the second time with breast cancer at the end of 2020. So they're getting bigger now and they were on winter break. Hence, I really took a winter break. I just relaxed and spent time with family. And it's time to get back going with the lives, with videos, with content, with anything that can help you guys. So thank you for being here. Yay. Look at all the emoji high fives. I love it. Shalon Fitzsimmons, welcome. Wait, let me say this right. Sheila Ann. I can read words. It's just a lot of A's in there. Sheila Ann, welcome. Um, let's talk about the new year. What do you guys have planned for the new year? Are there any changes you want to make in your life that you want to share, especially if you are in treatment or after treatment? And to be clear, I think this is really empowering, but a friend of mine uh, that I met from doing the Star Show last year, Survivors Tell a Real Story, said that you are a survivor from the moment you're diagnosed by definition. So own that word. Know you are surviving. You don't have to always be a fighter. You can call yourself a survivor. That way, you know you will live it. So I just love that. All right. Happy New Year. Yay. Thank you. Keisha says, welcome back. Oh, man. It feels so good. I was so excited to come on live today. What do we get from the lives? An update. You guys can have questions answered. And I usually have a theme. Um, I haven't, I'm not solid on my theme today, but I know what I want to share. So I'll go into that. This morning, I was listening to a radio station dropping off kids at school. And the DJ, John Jay and Rich, he was talking about getting his 10,000 steps a day. Like that's his New Year goal. And we've heard of that, right? I think it came from like Asian culture or something to get 10,000 steps a day. Um, but it's like a goal, something to work towards. I love a goal. I love something to work towards. I think it's hard to be motivated without having a goal. And if you're waiting for motivation to come, good luck because motivation is not a feeling, it's something we create. So we set a goal, we put action in place, and then motivation shows up. Like it just does not happen the other way, just so you know. So goals, 10,000 steps a day. I thought that's great. So what I did was I went to my health app. I have an iPhone and I do wear an Apple Watch. And I went to my health app and was able to see my average of steps. And it was just really enlightening. So I don't know if you guys have a smartphone, you likely do. But if you have an Apple phone, you can pull up your health app. Because if your phone or your smartwatch or your Fitbit, something is on you all day, you can track it. And so I think that's a really neat thing to do. It'll just give you an idea of where you're at with your steps, how much you're moving. And if you're in treatment, active chemotherapy treatment, this could look different, right? You are not going to have as high a goal possibly if you're very fatigued and we don't want you dehydrated. But you should still be moving. It's one of my top tips that I do talk about because I think it actually helps with the sleep cycle. I think it helps our body kind of, you know, process all that medication going through us. And I mean, it's just been proven to help to move when you feel well enough in treatment. And if you don't feel well enough, look into that. Why, right? Are you dehydrated? Do you need more nutrition? Do you need to talk to your doctors? Like, you really want to pay attention when you're in treatment. So, anyways, my average for the month so far is 10,286 steps a day. Very excited to see that in my health app. And yeah, so that is some New Year goals, like just kind of paying attention. All right, let's go to comments. I see Crystal. Crystal, hello. Crystal is one of my members, and I really appreciate that, guys, so much. As a member, you help support the channel and what I'm doing, which is helping people feel empowered after a cancer diagnosis. You also help yourself by getting access to special shorts that I do. I try to share more of like what I eat on there or daily motivation, but it's a really awesome way to just show community here. So thank you. Crystal says, "Hi Marina, happy New Year. So glad I made it to the live. Me too." So if you remember, I had stage 3 triple negative breast cancer. Completed chemotherapy May 31st last year, right? Double mastectomy July 5th. And she came to the live, guys, and would share this with us. So we were able to cheer Crystal on during that process of surgery and sharing her wins of being done with chemo. All right. She also says lymphovenous bypass August 19th and completed radiation October 31st. Now I have 2 lumps in my armpit near my incision line. Going for biopsy this Monday the 13th. I'm so anxious. Oh man. Okay, so let's back up a little bit. I want to process that. Lymphovenous bypass. Lymphovenous. So I don't know exactly, right? It has to do with the lymph nodes there, and venous usually veins. Okay. And you completed radiation October 31st, 2 lumps in your armpit near the incision line. The fact that it's near the incision line to me makes me think it's likely some type of scar tissue. Scar tissue is hard. It is a lump. It can be felt by touch, and it can kind of move around usually. Scar tissue typically can happen near incisions, like after mastectomy or just any incision they've made to remove tumor, lumpectomy. I had scar tissue happen, and physical therapy helped with that, because if it was up to me to massage out scar tissue, like let's say from my mastectomy, I had a double mastectomy after my first cancer diagnosis, and after chemo. If it was up to me to massage that scar tissue out, I would not have done as good a job as the physical therapist or my medical team. I think I would have kind of done it, forgotten, but it actually is quite a bit of pressure to relieve some scar tissue that builds up from surgery. So I'm hoping that that's what it is. Um, I mean, if you completed everything you've been through, Crystal, there's a lot. There's a lot. You did a lot. So the next thing is to do the next step, right? The biopsy, to be sure. Um, Usually before biopsy, they do in some kind of imaging, like an ultrasound. So if you experience the lumps after cancer, after treatment, they start with ultrasound, then possibly biopsy. Um, as far as the anxiety, scan anxiety. Have you guys heard this word? Scan anxiety. We're just combining scans and anxiety into one. As far as that goes, it can be tough going back to the place where you've been diagnosed and had treatment. My recommendation for you is to use a lot of your mind in that process. So let's say I'm sitting in the chair and I'm waiting for them to call me back to go do a scan, or I am laying on the table because they're going to do an ultrasound or an MRI. Visualization. You are going to visualize something that you're holding in your hand. You can actually hold something in your hand, or you can visualize. Usually something natural is really nice. So I just start with a rock. And I'm going to visualize I'm holding that rock, and I'm going to start to describe that rock. Is it bumpy? Is it smooth? Does it feel rough? Is one side of it smooth? Is it, and this sounds crazy, guys. You're like, what are we talking about here? But there's something about much more relaxing when we use visualization to take ourselves out of our future thoughts. Thoughts happen, super normal, but when you start taking your thoughts into the future, that's thinking. And they literally say philosophers, right? Thinking is the disease of the mind, right? It's things that haven't happened. And our primal sense is to protect ourselves. But overthinking and thinking on things that haven't happened is what creates a lot of anxiety, and you don't have to live that way. You don't have to believe everything you think. So, we're just gonna take your mind to something else, creating, like, a visualization exercise. Other things that are proven to help are creativity. So, if you're waiting at an appointment, if you can take something with you that you like to do with your hands or writing, it can be very helpful. So, literally taking a pen and paper, a little journal, taking coloring, knitting, um, anything that you can create. For me, and I didn't even realize this, guys, because I've learned about this. I learned about this from Martha Beck, who is or was she's a life coach, and she was Oprah's life coach. And I heard a recent interview of her, I've heard several, but a recent one on Diary of a CEO. And she talks about the creative mind is a great way to relieve anxiety, right? Overthinking. So being creative. And so I just love that. But I didn't realize that I was doing it when I was at chemo, because what I was doing when I was at chemo, the first time and second time I colored and wrote, I had a journal, but I also was editing my videos for YouTube. That's what I was doing the second time I had cancer, right? I had almost 16 infusions, I think 15. But I would sit there and I would use my app I use to edit videos that I had filmed on my vlog camera. And so I was creating, and it just made the experience something much different than sitting there um, feeling out of control of my life. It helped me a lot. And it could help you a lot. So that's why we talk about taking coloring to chemo, or journaling, or puzzles, crosswords, Sudoku. Like, those are more mind games, but if you actually do creative stuff like drawing or coloring or knitting would be great. I tried to learn knitting. I wasn't very good at it. It can be really, really good for your mind. And then the next thing after that is waiting, and you'll have to, just find ways to move through your day until the next thing. Remember, guys, you don't have to believe everything you think. It's actually a book I'm reading right now called Believe Everything You Think. All right. A long tangent for anxiety, but I think it's needed in a community where we've been touched by cancer. How do we deal with anxiety, right? Aisha, hi Marina. I wish you happy new year to you and all. I hope everyone had started great year 2025. My question is, did you heard anything about cancer vaccine in US? I heard Russia is bringing vaccine 2025. Um I have heard for at least a year or two about a possible cancer vaccine. So that has been in the news, something that they work on. I don't know more on it yet. I don't know where we're at with that. Um, so it could be very interesting. I mean, oh, vaccines, right? It's like I definitely have gotten vaccines, but it's like there's so much around vaccines. Medicine can help. If you've done chemo, I mean, you probably understand at some point medicine is necessary. I also believe lifestyle factors can help us, but I'm so thankful to be here because of what medicine helped me with. Crystal, I'm taking Lynparza 3 months in. Okay, so yeah, that is is that what we would call like a chemo pill technically? Kind of, Crystal. I know it has similar side effects to chemo, possible hair loss, but more so fatigue. So thank you for sharing. Please give us an update. That's what I would hope for you, Crystal. You can come back and share an update and tell us how everything went. It's totally up to you, but we're here. I'm here. Sandra says, hi, everyone. Her says, hi. That's Elena. Lou from snowy Atlanta. Hello, Lou. There is, I was hoping to go to Atlanta. I don't think I will this year, but the Young Survival Coalition has their summit in Atlanta this year in March. And so just thinking of you and Young Survival Coalition, I raised money for them last year. They help people 40 years and younger diagnosed with breast cancer with resources. So great organization. Crystal, I'm that it is seroma. She's hopeful. It's so painful. I did have an ultrasound and they recommended oncologist to make a decision. He said, I don't like this. Let's do biopsy. Staying positive. Good. Stay positive. You are allowed to do that. It'll save your life to stay positive. We don't need to, we don't know what we don't know until you have that biopsy done. She also says, "I'm definitely going to try this. Creative. I'm definitely an overthinker and it makes things a bit challenging." We all are, Crystal. It is so in our nature. I think especially as women, I'm just going to say it. It's how we were made, like we were made to think ahead, to support a family or a community, help others. It's just how our brains are. Because I can promise you, my husband doesn't think ahead like I do. It's totally the difference I feel between men and women. So we have to do something with that overthinking. We have to bring our thoughts back to where we are. Okay, what do I know? What's the next step? And what can I do between then if I really need to relieve some anxiety? So try the creative thing. I think it could be really nice if you have some time to do it. I saw a memory. I've been seeing a lot of memories on my social media for me from 4 years ago when I was in active treatment. I was starting chemo. So this time 4 years ago, I had finished my second chemo, and I shared, I could share my digital coloring because I I didn't take markers in, coloring books on the second time I had cancer. I think the first time I did. So weird to think about it all. I used an app on my iPad. So I took my mini iPad, and if you actually look at my chemo day vlog, I show you that. So I would color in my app while I'm waiting for an appointment, while I'm getting my pre-infusion, and then I would put on a show on my app so I could ice my hands and feet when I started chemo. So I couldn't color during the chemo infusion because my hands were in ice gloves and my feet were in ice socks to prevent neuropathy. If you don't know about that, please check out my videos on neuropathy. Really, get familiar with my channel if you're in treatment or helping somebody, because there are playlists for chemo, radiation, surgery, and neuropathy. I believe there's also maybe what I eat, some stuff like that. So really look around on my playlist, but neuropathy is something you want to avoid if you're getting chemo infusion. Taxol is one that can cause neuropathy, and it's been shown that icing your hands and feet can help prevent it, as well as I believe it's like magnesium and vitamin B. Vitamin B. Check with your medical team on what you're allowed to take. All right, so Shubik says hi from Reunion. What does it say? Reunion Island Marina. Hello. Hi. Welcome. Where is that? I'm not familiar. I don't know it. I am so thankful you're here. I have people from all over that come to the lives. It's amazing. I have people from Canada, typically, Africa, India, Philippines. I mean, just all over. I'm so thankful. UK. So thank you for being here. And of course, in the United States. I am in sunny Arizona, where today will be 61, and that is brisk for us because it's the desert and it's a little chilly, but it's sunny out. So, all right, we've talked about treatment. We've talked about some health goals for the new year. And Jack Keen's commenting on the scanxiety. Let's talk about it. Yes, scanxiety is a real thing. I have CTs and bone scan every 3 months and experience this. Thanks for the tips. Reminding myself of all I've already been through also helps. Yeah, right? I mean, you went through so much to get you to where you are. Um, Thank you for sharing. Shuvik says it's next to Madagascar, French island. Wow, how cool is that? Wow, thank you for coming to the live. Um, how else can I help you today? Does anybody have questions they wanna ask? Um, the next thing I was thinking about, what's new? Okay, what's new for me? I will share an update with you. I'm so excited about this. I found out yesterday that I am on the survivor board for Check for a Lump. So if you're local to Arizona, Check for a Lump is a resource for you. They provide free wigs, mammograms, and support for breast cancer patients. So Check for a Lump, I'm very familiar with them last year. Ashley Plum, the director, is a friend of mine now. We were in the Star Show together, and they nominated me to the board, and I've been selected to help. So I'm so excited to help directly a breast cancer charity. If, again, you're in the Phoenix area, we do a couple events. One is in February called the Pink Out. In October, there's a wig gala and another event. I will share more as October gets closer. But the next one is Friday, February 21st. It's called the Pink Soiree, and I'll share some share some of that on here. So thank you. I'm so excited for it to be on the survivor board. So that's new for me this year. My goals this year is to continue helping people. So my goal is to continue making content. And that sounds like a very small goal, but it is, it's as a creator, which is what I call myself now. I'm a digital creator and certified cancer and life coach. I have to actively set these goals for myself, to reach people that need it. I I hope that through my videos you find hope, you find inspiration, you find tangible tips to help you because all these tips help me and I learn them from other survivors too. It's incredible. Here I am with hair and eyebrows and eyelashes, breast reconstruction. I mean, years later, I also want to share this hope for you guys. Hands and feet neuropathy. I have experienced it to different levels. Painful at one time in my hands, tingling in my feet at other times. Actually, last year, I trained for the New York City Marathon and ran that on behalf of the Young Survival Coalition. And when I would run, I kind of noticed my feet were tingly sometimes during and a little bit after. And I wasn't sure how that would go. It wasn't painful to run. So I thought, that's fine. I can do this marathon. I'd done one many years before. But here's what I want to share. So far, since running that marathon, I have not experienced neuropathy in my feet. I can't explain it. It is awesome. It could have been this time. It's been 3 years. Let's see, 2021. It's been 4 years since I started chemo the last time. So almost 4 years since I was done with that. Would have been April of 2021. And it could be time, and it could be that I keep moving. I mean, I am a big advocate of walking daily. Morning walks are great. Um, and then I marathon trained. And I do some exercises too, right? I try to exercise at least a couple days a week. I wouldn't even say I'm an intense exerciser, but I do like these hit workouts on an app on my phone. It's in my weekly habits video, healthy habits video. And it's just gone. And I can't believe it. I feel like I still have a little bit of neuropathy in my hands. But my feet, it's incredible. And I've had 31 chemotherapy infusions and I did not ice for the first 16, AC and Taxol. I didn't because I didn't know about it. I wore cozy slippers, somebody gave me, right, with breast cancer ribbons. But I iced the second time and I experienced it. I mean, I remember being on my on my couch, like crying to my now husband because my feet hurt so bad. I felt so uncomfortable. My legs were so like pins and needles in pain during treatment the second time, even with the icing. And I told my medical team because sometimes they can pause or prescribe gabapentin. And I have to be honest with you, I never took the gabapentin. Um, I remember that so clearly. Like he had to run to the drugstore to get me like some Tylenol or some pain reliever, right? That I could take then. I think it's usually Tylenol. And I took that and I probably cried myself to sleep or something. It was so bad. And here we are almost 4 years later, and I have continued to walk, and I've ran a marathon last year, and I don't have any neuropathy. It's I it's incredible. Um, so there's hope. Please keep moving. Please keep, working with your doctors if you need to. Keep that faith, that loving on yourself by showing up for yourself every day, by going for walks, maybe doing some stretches, doing a little bit of weights or yoga, like something, anything, guys. You can watch YouTube workout videos. I mean, it's all there for you. But I just I can't I'm in tears talking about it because I just took myself back to that moment, that night of being like in so much pain during treatment. And here I am, and it's gotten better. And I'm not on any medication, I'm not on like Lynparza or anything, and I'm not on hormone suppressors because I had a hysterectomy. So I'm in menopause. Um and it's just gone. And it's just amazing. So, all right. Yep. So I'm just getting a little bit of praise in the comments. Shubeck says, "Bravo. We hope to see some pink soiree pics." You will see some pink soiree pics for sure. I'm so excited. I did Phoenix Fashion Week last year. Also got to walk on an 88-foot long runway as a breast cancer survivor. You guys have no idea what the future could hold for you. Other women that walked with me, some were younger, most were older. At least two of them were stage 4, and they're walking a runway. Like, you have no idea. You can be as tapped into life as you want. You can just chill out if you want, but there is more for you after treatment. Elena says, "Yes, your videos gave me hope and helped me so much. Thank you. God bless. You are a heaven sent." Oh, thank you so much. You give me hope because you have showed up here and you've supported me. So I know you care because you're here. Shubik, I have a question. Do you have random scare moments about other health issues and breast related? Meaning, do you relate with becoming a little hypochondriac since your treatments? No, not necessarily, but I do feel strongly that I'm very in tune with my body. And I think that's so important to do because if you have a red flag, something you might need to get checked or you might need to change something. Not hypochondriac though. I mean, I have little kids. I could be sick every day. Like every day I could be like, is that the stomach bug? My tummy grumbled. You know, I don't tend to be that way. No, I'm too busy. Maybe I'm not sure if you should take my advice or not, but staying busy helps, right? And there's something beautiful to downtime, absolutely. But enjoy your life. You literally, if you have survived cancer, I mean, may God bless you with every day you have. But you have a right to enjoy your life. It is literally what your the the reason you're here. I was gonna say your creator, God. I don't always pull that into the conversation, but let's talk about it. There's a reason that you are here. And it is, at the heart of it, having a roof over your head and food on the table. If those things are met, like enjoy your life. I'm giving you permission. Like the person that made you that is the person, God that made you wanted that for you. Literally says, rejoice and be glad, right? We just finished the holiday season. Rejoice is a word that literally means come back to joy. It's our natural state. That's why my kids are nuts in the morning when they're laughing and being silly when they need to get ready for school. They're hilarious. It's childlike wonder. It's what is meant for all of us. It's yours. Like, it's yours. I promise you. We've all been through something hard, especially if you have cancer. But that's more of a reason to just celebrate that you've survived not just cancer. You survived maybe a traumatic childhood. You survived, you know, a crazy manager. Like you've survived things. So just like when you can just be you, like just be you. Enjoy watching your football team. Enjoy your friends and neighbors. Just it's for you. Claim it. All right. Crystal, I'm in Florida. I would love to go to Arizona to meet you and check out one of the charity events. What was the name of the charity again? Check for a lump. I will share more on them. The event is the Pink Soiree in February, which is a great time to visit Arizona. It is beautiful in February. It's awesome. And then on October, there'll be 2 more events, and it won't be the first or last you'll hear from me. I did apply to be a breast cancer speaker at the Young Survival Coalition Summit. I was not picked this year, and I believe that life always happens for you. That was meant for a reason. I'm meant to keep working on my stage presence and, and I just hope to keep inspiring people on their journey. And, so everything happens for a reason. Keisha had a hysterectomy had a month ago as part of my journey. Any advice you can offer for life after the surgery? Yes. Hysterectomy for me was a little bit rough as far as dryness, vaginal dryness. I mean, that was probably the biggest thing that it was like, "Oh, man, no." It gets better. It kinda went through waves of, like, dry, not so dry. It gets better, and then after that why didn't I start this sooner? I just started this recently, so I'll share it here for the first time, but I'm using Reverie's product or Bonafide. Bonafide is the company, Reverie is the product, right? A vaginal, suppository, is that what you'd call it? That you can insert to help with dryness. And it's a great product. Lots of women in menopause talk about it. You can see it all over Instagram ads. But it's helped a lot. It's great. That was the biggest one. Hot flashes and mood swings. Those are gonna probably be present for at least the next 3 to 6 months. Managing that to your degree, I use cooling sheets. It's all linked on my Amazon store. There's a hot flash category. Cooling sheets I use, neck fans I've used, blotting papers I've used for sweat. So some things that I've had to use during that time, but I don't experience them much anymore, not like to the point of discomfort. So that's reassuring. So you'll have to manage symptoms that you experience during that time. Restlessness, that's why the morning walks are going to be super important, and exercise helps a ton. So when you are cleared to start exercising, it will really help with your sleep, which could change. Ashwagandha supplement at night, very good for mood and relaxation. Highly recommend it. I used it very regularly for 3 months. I don't use it regularly anymore, just as needed if I feel like I wanna, like, really chill out for the night. So, it doesn't make you sleepy either. It's just literally supposed to help with, anxiety. Ashwagandha. Those are my tips. So glad you asked. Thank you for coming to the live. Elena says, "All the glory to God." Amen. And so does my good friend Keisha here says, "Amen. Glory to God." Um, I hope you guys felt that. I really, I mean, there's lots of messages built into today's live, that there's hope, that you can set goals, that you can make changes, all these tips we've talked about, visualization, being creative, writing, some tips for hysterectomy. And at the end of the day, if you feel like you are spiraling, talk to somebody. I think it really helps to talk to somebody, and not just talk to somebody, but I do this and I think it's really, really great because we are so caught up in our own world. We're like cancer could be like the center of it for you sometimes. I've even kind of experienced it, or I've seen people experience it where you're like, but they don't understand. They haven't been through this. And they don't understand. They haven't been through it. Other people that have not had cancer treatment or have had to have body parts removed like you or I, right? Have a uterus removed, a breast removed. They don't understand. But give everybody grace because everybody's gone through something. And so, what I like to do is I like to ask how other people are doing. I like to say, "Hey, how's it go?" I text friends. I'll be like, "Hey, how are you? I was thinking about you. How are you?" Like, it takes myself out of me that there's just like the world happening to me because I don't believe that. I feel like the world's happening to all of us and happening for us. So, if you find yourself spiraling, talk to somebody, but maybe just really check on somebody else, and just like, and know you're not alone in this world. So, all right. Let's sum it up with some comments here, and then we'll touch on when the next live is. I want to remind you of that. So, a couple comments. Elena says, "There are 21 of us watching. Let's all give this live a thumbs up to support this channel. People who are going through cancer will benefit from this." I love that so much. Thank you. Thank you for reminding people. It's a small gathering for the lives, but the replays will reach more, hundreds more. And so it's amazing. And if you're listening to this as a replay, come to the next live and know you're still meant to listen to this. Trust me. Like I've listened to plenty of podcasts, right? and I get stuff from them. It's incredible. It's almost like what you needed to hear sometimes. You're like, "Oh, I needed to hear that today." Perfect. Deborah says, "Have you ever had or had a referred pain, like a pain somewhere else besides the breast?" Um, I had pain in my left, I don't know what you'd call it, my left femur, um, below my buttocks. This pain, this deep pain, didn't feel like muscle, didn't feel like bruising for over a month. And I think I've shared that in different videos. But what I did was it was by the time it was 3 months, right? It's not going away. What is this? I definitely told my medical team. They said, "We haven't done a bone scan since you were diagnosed with breast cancer. Let's go ahead and order that." So I think that I did that a year ago. Um, Bone scan was clear. So talk about scan anxiety, right? I had also at the time, this could have been 2 years ago, lost one of my best friends to stage 4 breast cancer. That was 2023 was a rough year. And so losing her where it metastasized to her bone and having this referred bone pain was like uh, at some point you're like, okay, got to get this checked. A lot of anxiety. Bone scan was clear, and so I was sent to physical therapy. They helped me, and it did help with some exercises. I still get some pain there sometimes, but the bone scan's clear. I also get ctDNA testing, a blood draw, every time I see the oncologist at this point. That is through Signatera, and they will create a lab panel to compare your blood to your tumor, uh, your panel of what your blood looked like when you had your tumor, if that makes sense. Anyways, they're looking for circulating tumor DNA. And if it's not heightened, it'll come back negative. And if it is heightened, it'll come back positive, which still doesn't mean there's a tumor, but I've always had negative results. So write that down. CT DNA test. Signatera is one of the labs that does it. It could do it in your area or another lab could. Um, I don't know if lab is the right word, but that's the brand. So yeah, ask about those options if you're worried about screening, and it's a very easy way to feel like you're being checked without having a scan. I mean, it's literally just a blood draw. It takes about 3 weeks to get results, I believe. So that's the only downside, really. Okay. Shubik says, "Yep, I am 40 and menopause from chemo, and vaginal dryness is a thing. I discovered like hot flashes. It was an extra pill to swallow as I've always wanted kids but didn't get that chance. And now I'm sorry. That is a tough one. That is those are feelings to process for sure. Feeling like you wanted kids and then that is gone. All I can say is I'm sorry. I do know that you can touch children's lives in many ways, but not being able to have your own kids, I don't know what that's like, and I'm sorry. Sheila, thank you so much for all that you do. What advice do you have for changes in taste and not eating because of that? Oh, not that. Taste buds change during chemo, and it's not fun. My advice is to heighten food with certain flavors. Lemon, garlic are really nice for savory foods. To me, sweetness stayed. So, um, honey, you always want these. Plus, lemon and garlic are anti-cancer. And instead of having sugary processed foods and sweets, put honey in your yogurt. Dark chocolate with fruit. I mean, it's so satisfying and you can't feel so guilty about that, right? Just really pure, strong flavors tend to help. Um, that's what I would say. And taste comes back. Your taste will return. It will come back after chemo, I promise you. It might take 6 months to a year, but it returns. Mine returned much more quick than that. I believe like just maybe a couple months after chemo. Marielle Gonzalez, going through it now. Just finished my first phase of chemo. Thank you for sharing your story. Thank you for being here. Thank you for doing the research and finding somebody that could tell you there's hope. Shubik, still feeling blessed to be here though. Good. I know, Shubik. It's not. Ugh, it's a journey. I'm okay calling it a journey because it's not like we ever end up at a destination. It's just like we're just taking it in. Jacqueline, I do have scares where any symptom I have, wonder if it's progression. Recently, I had UTI and I wondered if it was progression of urothelial. I have 2 stage 4s and will always be in active treatment. Yes, I remember Jacqueline. And you used to write. Are you still writing your poetry? Because that is right in line with our creative stuff. All right, everybody, we're going to wrap up the live. The next live is next week. I put one on my calendar, so put it on yours if you want to return. Wednesday, January 15th, 10 a.m. Subscribe to get notifications for when I go live because I might just throw some lives in there just because. There'll also just be some new tip videos that will show up. Follow me on Instagram at Beyond Cancer Coach and at Marina Blackford if you want to keep up to date with me there. Also, I am available for coaching you one-on-one. You can go to marinablackford.com and book to schedule coaching with me there. If you are in treatment and you need help through treatment, please book that. You're not alone. I also life coach people. If you're like, "Ooh, I'm really deep in it," or "I really want to thrive this year," I help women that have been diagnosed with cancer feel empowered and live a happy life, right? I'm going to help you set goals and reach those goals so you can feel like you're living your life. So that's it for today. Thank you for being here. Hope you all have a great day. Bye-bye.